Welcome back to Project U 2.2. I'm Carrie, and this is episode 2. Today, I want to share the story behind why I created Project U 2.2 and what makes it so meaningful to me. First, let me explain the name. When I was coming up with the name for my company, I put a lot of thought into it, and as a teacher for over 3 decades, I spent my career assigning projects to students. Just things that pushed them to think differently or to stretch themselves and to show what they were capable of in new ways. The word project felt right because this isn't just about listening to ideas on a podcast. It's about putting them into action. Project U means that you are the work in progress and you are the assignment, and the effort you put in will shape the results you see. And I feel like we are all just a work in progress, and that even though we are aging into our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, we don't stop growing. Just like in school, value isn't only in the finished product, but there's so much that goes into the process of growing, trying, failing, and succeeding along the way. So I chose Project U because this is our era. We are the project. Too often, we have a tendency to put everyone else first. I think especially moms, working moms, we put our careers, our kids, running our household, showing up for everyone, and forget about the most important person, ourselves. Project U is about taking ownership of your growth, your mindset, your joy, and your life. The 2.2 represents leveling up, moving from the version of yourself you've been living into an even more elevated and powerful version. I've always loved the number 22, and as a math teacher, I've been drawn to symmetry, balance, and 22 just feels perfect in that way. It's neat, it's even, and powerful. Plus, my boys have all used 22 as their number in sports over the years, and so it just holds a special meaning for our family too. Life is full of transitions. Some are exciting, some are terrifying, and honestly, many of them are a little bit of both. Just that perfect combination of excitement and scary that makes us want to do it, but gives us that edge of uneasiness. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Transitions can be very scary, especially for people who don't love change. I'm raising my hand right now. Stepping into the unknown can just make us doubt ourselves. Maybe we hesitate a little, or we even turn down opportunities that we secretly want. But here's what I've learned. If we push ourselves outside of our comfort zones, we find confidence, joy, and strength that we didn't even know we had. So speaking of turning down opportunities, let me give you a perfect example. Last year, I was asked to take part in Dancing with the Local Stars. It's a great program in our town that raises money for local food pantries. And at first, I seriously considered it. I had been to a performance a few years ago as an audience member, and I'll never forget watching one of the dance pros up on stage performing. She was older than me, and I was completely in awe of her confidence, her beauty, and her talent on that stage. She carried herself with so much grace and power that I remember thinking, I want to be her when I grow up. I even sent her a message on Facebook Messenger telling her how inspired I was by her presence. Ironically, that very same woman ended up being the dance pro who asked me to be on her dance team. I felt like life was handing me a full circle opportunity, but fear still kept me from saying yes. I did think about it for a few days, but I knew it was just too scary for me. The topic kept going back and forth in my head, and deep down, I knew I was just too scared to put myself out there to actually get up on that stage and dance in front of thousands of people. Just the thought of it gave me anxiety. And last year, instead of leaning into the challenge, I let the excuse of, oh, it's going to be a big time commitment, become my way out. Looking back, I realize that the fear of being seen, of being vulnerable in such a public way, was what really stopped me. Fast forward to March of 2024, when the same lady asked me again, and without thinking, I said yes. I knew I had a few months to prepare myself before practices even started, but I didn't tell anyone that I had committed to this, not even my best friends. And this past February, I performed in Dancing with the Local Stars. I'm not a dancer, and I had to dance in front of thousands of people. It was terrifying, but I said yes. I joined a team of strangers, and for months and over, 200 hours of practicing together, we became more than a group. We were a team, we were a family, and became the best of friends. One of the dancers was even a former student of mine, and I can't even begin to tell you how this experience changed me. The confidence that we gained was beyond anything I had expected. My health and fitness goals were right on track. We were dancing all winter, practicing. I made incredible new friends, and for the first time in so long, I felt myself light up in a whole new way. When we stepped onto that stage, we had smiles on our faces. We were so joyful. And even though I was still a little nervous and my lips quivered a bit during some of my smiles, once the music started, our team brought the house down. We danced to songs from the 90s and loved every second. And honestly, I wish everyone could experience that kind of joy because it truly felt like freedom. And at the very end, during the final part of our dance, one of the dancers lifted me up and spun me around. And in that moment, I felt like I was soaring. I could fly, not just physically, but emotionally too. On the final night of our performance, we won the biggest award. We pushed ourselves out of comfort zones. We faced our fears, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. Saying yes changed everything. And that's exactly the energy behind Project You 2.2. I created it because I know how hard transitions can be. Whether it's retirement, a career change, a divorce, a health journey, or just wanting more clarity in your life or wanting to level up, I also know the rewards, the confidence, the joy, the growth that comes when you confront your fears and choose to level up. So I want to leave you today with a few practical ways to start pushing yourself outside your comfort zone and leveling up right where you are. You could say yes to one scary opportunity this week, even if it's small. Maybe taking a new class you've been wanting to try or a skill you've been wanting to learn. And it could even just be like a one-day seminar. It could be something online. Maybe there's a challenging conversation that you could have that you could grow from. Or going to an unfamiliar social activity. Just take that first step and say yes to one scary opportunity this week. A second thing you could do, try something that stretches your skills. I had to learn how to dance even though I couldn't dance. You could expand your abilities by doing something that might feel a little bit intimidating, but exciting. 3, journal your fear. Write down what you're afraid will happen and what you hope to gain from doing something that could be very rewarding for you. Sometimes I think seeing it on paper gives us clarity and courage to do it. And your last option, or the fourth option, is find your support squad. When we surround ourselves with people who encourage us and cheer us on, it feels so much better to go through some scary times. Whether it's friends from work, family members, neighbors, girlfriends from high school, growth is always easier when you have some allies on your side. So just taking one small step outside our comfort zone creates momentum. It's like that snowball at the top of a mountain that starts rolling down. And every time you do something outside of your comfort zone, You're practicing courage, you're building confidence, you're creating your leveled up 2.2 version, and that snowball just keeps growing. In the next episode, we are going to dive deeper into how to intentionally push outside your comfort zones with strategies and stories to help you fully embrace growth in your life. Thank you for listening. If this episode resonated with you, please hit subscribe, share it with a friend, and remember, this is your life. It is so much fun to grow and to continue growing. This is your project. Let's level up together and embrace the power on the other side of fear.